link of the century. Mark your calendars tomorrow, 3 p.m. EST. Lil Tay rich and finna get richer.
And what can only be deemed as perverted news, Lil Tay, yeah, that's right, the once famous girl who was talking about how much your grandma's house was in comparison to a chain that she had, launched in OnlyFans. Let's talk about it.
This Lil Tay, I'm richer than all y'all broke ass 30 on my wrist. What the all y'all doing with your lives? I'm 9, I was born in Atlanta, and I was broke as hell. Look at me now, I'm all better than you broke ass.
She grew to fame by making these viral videos where she would essentially flex on people having all sorts of money, saying how she was bossed up, etc., etc. And Lil Tay has gone through her share of controversy in her life, not only saying the racial things, but even faking deaths, brothers' deaths, parents being abusive, all these other things in her past. But as we've grown with Lil Tay, and it's crazy to say that seeing as how she was 9 in that video that I just saw, she has become essentially a staple in our lives on the internet. I know I'm laughing, but I'm trying to be serious, because a lot of people do recognize this young girl. But boy, does time fly, because right now Lil Tay is teetering on the edge of being 18, and she does what every other young girl has done that's been on the internet for a long time: prepare an OF link. It started with some cryptic tweets where on July 10th she said age of consent should be 18, which I kind of thought age of consent was 18, but nonetheless this seemed to be the first indicator of her rolling out something. And soon to come, just a few days later, some videos would drop about her dropping a link and people propositioning her to do so when she turns 18.
So it's my 18th birthday on July 29th, and every mail has been counting down to it and literally telling me to drop the link the second I turn 18. Girlies, what do you think? Should I do it?
Now, this is ultra disturbing for a plethora of reasons, because while I think she is some sort of baiter for the content and all this stuff like that, I do believe, based off of what I've seen from Billie Eilish, Millie Bobby Brown, Bad Baby, that people were anticipating her in her date of being 18. And it's also crazy because her age has also been like wildly speculated over the past couple years, faking that she was one age, denying that she was another, etc., etc. So these people had to really be keeping track of it. So Lil Tay goes on to even drop a poll, and while she did get majority of people saying don't drop the link, there were still 31% of 100,000 people saying that she should drop the link. And we all know what the link is at this point. Nobody's oblivious. And just more and more tweets up leading to the big old day where she kept baiting people time and time again, getting millions upon millions of views on all these tweets, adding Candace Owens, asking a good question about her maturity level at 9, getting death threats, but now 18, getting the OF link. This was a very weird situation and circumstance. Why it's also weird though is because there's times where Lil Tay was baiting the fact that she is still very young. And it's weird on her behalf because it's disgusting that you would use that as a bargaining chip or a marketing tactic, but it's also disgusting because it's working on people.
Y'all already know what the fuck going on. Lil Tay's dropping the youngest link of the century. Mark your calendars tomorrow, 3 p.m. EST. And nobody, including my family, including the grown-ass haters, is gonna stop me. You know why? Lil Tay rich and finna get richer, bitch.
The youngest link of the century is mad devious. Well, the day of reckoning came and Lil Tay did it. She announced it on her Twitter page that she did drop the link, and she had to make sure that everyone was confirmed that all the exclusive content was shot at 12:01 a.m. on the 18th birthday day. I hate to be a technical person here, but Lil Tay, unless you were born on 12:01, then that still means you were underage when the content was shot. If you were born at 5 in the afternoon, you gotta wait till 5 in the afternoon. Oh God, this is sick. That was sick. But what makes it even worse though is that in just a short 3-hour span, Lil Tay reportedly made over $1 million when it comes to making OF content. She said, not bad for 3 hours. We broke the fuck out of the OnlyFans record. What are we doing?
$1 million? You guys made her $1 million because you couldn't wait for her to drop content? If you didn't know, Lil Tay decided that when she becomes 18 years old, she wants to hop into that type of industry. And just like Bad Baby, she just made $1 million. Shawty straight up said, I don't want a normal job. I don't want to go to school. I want to do this. And made $1 million. And from what Twitter is saying, them fiend out dudes got finesse. It's dudes crying on Twitter saying that they got scammed, saying that all they see is normal photos. Do you not see the overall issue that you even went to go pay for that?
Absolutely.
Do y'all know? Y'all just made her $1 million off of being thirsty, bruh. This is Bad Baby all over again. Y'all made Bad Baby, what, 23 million off of being thirsty?
There's so many things wrong with this, but we've got to unpack how we even got here. I've talked about it on this channel, and I think a lot of people would agree that the way that we go about putting young kids on the internet is totally disgusting. It's the reason why people like Casey Neistat have completely left his children's public faces off of the internet. Sure, he's shown some of them, which now in hindsight is probably even too much, but being a public entity as a child on the internet unfortunately attracts PDF files. Like, there's no other way to describe what is going on in real time, and especially in the wake of that one guy who had the islands list seemingly disappearing from the government's, eye. I think it's very, very, very telling as to how we as a society deal with these things when it involves kids and sexualized behaviors. Before Lil Tay even made this drop, there were people foaming at the mouths on Reddit about the potential content that she could be dropping, literally saying that, hey, I know it's bait, but I literally cannot control my urges and my lust.
Hi, this is 911 emergency. How can I help you today?
Yes, I would like to report a nigga wildin'.
This situation even looks worse knowing that Lil Tay has been known to lie on the internet, and not just lie about stupid and silly things, but literally lie about her age. And this is to the point where Google can't even keep up. There's been tweets of her having to correct her age. Google is wrong. She's saying she's one thing. She's saying she's that thing. But literally in a year's time, she just went 18 years old. Now, I will say that OF does require users to be 18 years old. They do their own version of age verification check, so we should be able to, at least guarantee that way if we're trusting OF that Lil Tay is 18. But there are people out there that literally think that Lil Tay is 14 years old, like she told us back in January of 24, and they were the ones who were saying, I want to click on the link, drop the youngest link in the game. One of the bigger problems with this is that these young women, after years and years and years of being sexualized, have been indoctrinated to believe that, hey, sex sells, I need to use my gifts and my assets to go towards, funding my lifestyle or whatever the case may be, and ultimately manipulate this audience of men or give them what they want and cave into their fetishes. I really don't know the best technical way to describe this, but these young women do know these things, but this is only after years of being called X, Y, and Z, Schmexy, LMNOP, I can't wait till you turn 18 years old, etc., etc. Bad Baby literally did it and broke oodles and oodles of records. So while it sounds gross, it does make sense that a young woman would leverage her fan base that is begging for this stuff to, kind of tap on those pockets, even though they know it's wrong. Lil Tay was seen retweeting not too long ago that it should not interest you or become attractive to you when a young girl just turns 18 as a grown man. And that's also why she is putting these, non-risque pictures behind this paywall. She is just feeding on these people's disgusting desires as opposed to, fulfilling their actual fantasies. They can't even control themselves to know the fact that they're being baited, but they still want to dive deep into Lil Tay. I'm sorry, that's so gross. I don't even think I know of another profession in which I can make $1 million in 3 hours. And trust me, a lot of content creators, if they found a way to tap the pockets of those people that consume their content, would. That's why some of us start a Patreon to give exclusive content at patreon.com/Omeezy. But no, on a serious note, there's a lot of creators who, if they had an audience in which they could tap the pockets of, they definitely would. But sadly, they don't, or maybe good thing that they won't. The question is, would you do it or would you not do it, specifically in this manner? And the only reason why young women are doing these specific things is because sex work has become so normalized in today's day and age.
Lil Tay just made $1 million on OF within 3 hours on her 18th birthday. Please let that sink in. Listen, I'm not here to judge anyone on how they make their money, but I do think it's creepy that the internet sits and counts down and waits for girls to turn 18. Trust me, I get the hustle, I respect the bag, but when society makes teenage girls, feel like their most valuable asset is their body once they turn a certain age, that's when it becomes a problem. Let's bring back shame, because all it took was 3 hours. 3 hours for her to make 1 million. This is the same thing that happened with Bad Baby. Bad Baby made 16 million off of OF, and even she says it's weird how people signed up so quick when she turned 18.
For this video, I've been talking about Lil Tay and other youth content creators and their desire or begging from their audience to drop OF content. But if we're being real, this stuff happens not only for the young women content creators, but literally for all women content creators. No matter the niche, no matter the lane, as long as there is a male presence in it and you are a woman posting content, there are going to be men begging you to drop an OF link.
Stop asking me for the link in bio for my OnlyFans. I don't have an OnlyFans and there will never be an OnlyFans.
You're thinking about how much money you'd make on OnlyFans. Listen, have I had the thought, like, I wonder, mathematically speaking, how much I would make? Sure, most girls probably have thought that. But have I ever actually considered doing it? Nor, absolutely not.
It's happened to some basketball creators that I watch that are women. Yes, people are asking them to drop OF content. And it's happened to some car women content creators that I watch. Yes, people beg them to drop OF content. No matter the age, no matter the race, no matter the demographic, any sort of thing, niche, whatever, there are going to be men begging you to drop OF content. And the question is how/why? Why as a society are we this gooned out? And how do you think it's appropriate to ask every single content creator that you meet or see on the internet that has boobs to drop an OF link? How do you think that that's a way of going about life? Only to then criticize them for then doing the thing that you asked them to do by calling them whatever and over sexualizing them more and more and more and more and more. Now, a lot of times people do resist the urge or, you know, cave in to make $1 million in 3 hours by dropping the OnlyFans link. That's disgusting. And I'm not faulting anybody that does do it. I'm faulting the consumers of the content, the people that just see women as objects and automatically want them to go the OnlyFans routes. I'm faulting the dudes that then DM Lil Tay stuff like this, describing and depicting how you got off to the OnlyFans content. That's just super duper weird. We've talked about gooning problems in America for years, but now it's getting to a point where it's way out of hand. Women can't even exist on the internet without being sexually harassed, and I just think it's just the most disgusting thing in the world. I don't even think there's really a message at the end of this. I think it's crazy that there are sickos that are waiting for these young content creators under the age of 18 to turn a certain age in order for them to drop the OF. I think it's disgusting that people are asking any woman content creator to drop OF links, even though that's not their bag. It's also strange to me when I see women who post like beach photos and stuff like that that's a little bit outside of their niche. OF link coming soon, link coming. That shit is all so weird, bro. This shouldn't be something normalized. Sex work should be taken much more seriously than just, hey, I turned 18, drop a OF link. The people that are, you know, engaging and encouraging this nonsense really need to be put on some sort of FBI watch list.